Life is just too hard for me, you know. It's always been that way, though. So I've always stayed alive, but barely so. I know that kind of rhymes, not exactly intentionally, but I kind of can rhyme things all the time because that's just how my mind's always been, even when I was a little girl. Life is just too hard for me, you know. It's always been that way for me, though. I've always stayed alive, but barely so. So yeah, I am planning on paying an escort or somebody, a hot guy, to touch me in public because I need to be touched. I needed to be touched when I was a lonely, friendless teenager. But obviously I couldn't afford to pay anyone back then, now could I? That's all I ever would think about. So having a boy that I liked, who I liked, kissing me, touching me, holding me. And instead, I had nothing. Oh well. Actually, at first I didn't have nothing. I had Mary, who reached out to me when I was 14. Then we moved. Daddy and his girlfriend went on vacation to Florida and then decided to move to Florida. So I had to leave my family, my good friend, start a new school in the middle of my junior year, and I wasn't able to make any friends, really. And I always had Daddy there to ridicule my lack of friends. In part 5 of, that's why I don't really, so long as I'm not breaking laws or hurting anybody, I don't make apologies for anything. Walk a mile in my shoes and then judge me. Actually, I do make apologies. I just don't make apologies for things that uptight people get upset about, like me showing off my body or me planning to pay a hot guy to touch me, you know. There's a difference. I could pay a guy, go to a massage. Like I said, men pay for hookers, you know. I have the money and that's what I want, so. And I wouldn't do it all the time anyway. Just an hour of a nice massage that you know, that's not one that hurts. I've gotten plenty of therapeutic massages. They hurt, they kill. I don't want that. I want a guy pretending to be my boyfriend, massaging consensually, but in public, so, you know, in a PG way. And I want it so badly, I'm willing to pay. In part 5 of this little series, Walk a Mile in My Shoes and Then You Judge Me, I talked about how sometimes I wasn't very nice to my little animals when I was a little kid. But I'd like to clarify something. This wasn't a case where I was, you know, viciously, gleefully tormenting my little animal. No. From what I recall, because I never killed anything, I never even seriously harmed any of my little animals. We lived in that shitty white apartment. I was dealing with my mom's abusive boyfriend turned husband. She met him when I was 4 and married him when I was 9, so she married him while we were still in the shitty white apartment. I had little animals. I had hamsters, gerbils, mice, and they would always get out and then get killed by our Pekingese Mandy. They would always get out, except for Cream Puff. And I loved Cream Puff. I know damn well I never did anything bad to Cream Puff. Cream Puff used to eat peanut butter off my finger. Cream Puff was a black mouse, by the way. She never got eaten by Mandy or hurt by Mandy. Mandy didn't eat them. Cats eat them. Dogs. I think cats eat dog. This dog just, you know, killed them, played with them, batted them around, whatever. What I remember is I was around yelling all the time. I was bullied at school. I was around yelling all the time at home. I hated the shitty white apartment. I thought my room in the back was haunted. I had the little animals. I mean, even as lots of people I bet on this planet have done that, where you can be somewhat cruel to an animal, but then you realize what you're doing and you stop. Okay? For example, like I don't know, putting a box on an animal's head, like a cat's head or a dog's head, you know, that they can't get off. I mean, it's not torture, but it's not very nice, okay? All of us, most of us, occasionally, you know, give in to our, what you call our baser instincts, okay? I was a fucked up little kid being hurt. I know that I loved those little animals. But I also remember something, like, I know none of them ever died. I know none of them were even seriously hurt. This would be a case like if if I had the little the hamster running around or something, and it got its paw caught on a string on my bedspread or something. I remember something like that. I know I loved animals. I know I was not, like, just viciously, gleefully cruel. I don't know, I was all messed up. And then we were able to move to the blue house. And I know that I never did anything like that again. It was a different situation, new school, friends. I wasn't teased and beat up and near molested by the boys in the neighborhood and older boys and, you know, all this crap. That was when I was in the middle of 5th grade. And we got the big dog. He came with the house, the Malamute Shane, and was still at Mandy. I never did anything to any of my dogs or my, you know. And the little animals, I don't know, I know lots of kids are cruel to little animals. They can be. But then when we lost the blue house after my mom got sick and her abusive alcoholic, cheated on her and she got sick, and we had to move in with Marion's father, who was an alcoholic, and it's horrible. We had to move in. I had to start another school. We had to move in with him, and I was very, very, very angry. And like I wrote in my college essay, and I share my college essay with you guys, and I know it just gives my enemies fodder to just call me a psychopath and wonder why I didn't become a serial killer or something. Like I said, I never seriously harmed anything in my life, intentionally. I accidentally killed Munch when I was 16. Didn't tell my father for a week because I knew how he would react. I knew, and that my fears were justified when I finally had to tell him, because I can't just keep the dead animal in the cage. My fears proved justified. He ridiculed me, he made fun of my tears. It was just a bad accident. Munch was, he was running around my room, and you know how a bedspread lays down on the bed? Well, I leaned my hand down, and he just happened, you couldn't tell, he just happened to be under that bedspread at that moment. So yeah, I accidentally killed Munch when I was 16. This was when we had moved to Florida, and I had no friends, and I had my father ridiculing me all the time, ridiculing my lack of friends, lack of boyfriends, lack of a social life at all. And I wanted to die. I would just read all the time, read romance novels, imagine a different life, imagine a boy, liking me and kissing me and holding me and touching me, and there were no proms for Laura, no dating, no proms, no parties, no dances, nothing like that. But in any case, 12 years old, I was going, like I wrote in my essay, I used to not even know I'd stop myself, and I would hate myself. But and think about it, that was over 30 years ago, and I still think about it. So what does that tell you about me? I hurt my guinea pigs. Like I said, and I kind of still can't reconcile in my head how I could actually love these little animals, yet occasionally give in to my rage and hurt them. And not hurt them seriously. It's horrible. I mean, it's what serial killers do, right? What they start off as. I don't know. Like I said, you might think, oh, she wouldn't tell us if she was. No, I didn't. I never. I loved those little animals. I loved the guinea pigs, yet, I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to clarify that. I don't want someone to watch my other video and think, oh, she hurt her animals. How could she? She's a monster. I didn't. I was a kid. I was a kid. You understand? I didn't do it as an adult. I was a kid. I watched this movie, Child of Rage. This little girl, I mean, she went through way worse than me. I guess she was raped by her father or something when she was just 1.5 years old. Something horrible. It was a true story. But I think it was a true story. But, you know, and she wound up trying to, she would hide a knife in her teddy bear and try to kill adults. I mean, you know, I was a kid. I was a kid. Going through hell. I was a kid who went through hell. Oh, I was a kid. Like I said, we all have impulses. We all have baser instincts. But I think adults and teenagers, whatever, are more capable of controlling it. You know what I mean? You might think something but not do it. Whereas a kid might not have that much control, you know. But I did stop myself, you know. I might start to strangle the guinea pig and then, you know, and then realize what I was doing and stop. But it was just a helpless animal. Anyway, and that's my story. It was only the little animals, and I never harmed anything seriously. I was just sometimes, I guess, mean, or, I mean, I don't know, but what I do know is we all have baser instincts, and you simply have to keep rein on them, keep check on them, you know. Donald told me that he put when he was in college, he put his roommate's cat in the freezer. That's mean. Didn't kill the cat, but it was mean, right? Now, if you do that once, you know, I mean, you either forgive yourself for certain things like that, or you just put a bullet through your brain, okay? He did it once. He didn't do it 100 million times, you know? And he didn't do what the serial killers do and chop up little animals any more than I did, you know? But he did do that. And when my mom visited me, when I had my bulging disc, and, you know, in LA, when I was with Donald and his mom, she was horrified because she saw Donald put a plastic bag over Omar's head and laugh as Omar was running around. Okay? Donald's not the first person to ever do something like that to an animal. Even an animal that he loves, and he won't be the last, okay? That didn't mean that he didn't love Omar. See what I mean about giving in to baser instincts? Because in his own way, I know Donald loved Omar. And he did. He would bathe him, and he would walk him, and Omar would sleep with him, and, you know, sometimes we're human beings, and sometimes we give in to the desire to be cruel to something helpless. Even when you know, people have thoughts, it's whether you give in to those thoughts or not. That's the thing. Perfect example, I was still a virgin when I was like 20, when I was out of college, okay? Technically. That was only because my black college boyfriend didn't want to take my virginity for whatever reason. Otherwise, you know, I was technically still a virgin. Okay? And since I was still a virgin, I didn't want it. I didn't want to just give it up to anybody. You know, that's understandable, right? So I met this guy via my personal ad. This guy was like a god. He was this, but I think he thought I was beautiful too. I wasn't as thin as I am now, but I still had the curves and the height and the hair, and I was over 20 years young. In any case, I was still a virgin, and I wasn't gonna just give it up, whatever. So we were making out in his apartment, in his bed, and you know, and he looked right at me, and he goes, "I can see why men rape." Okay? What that tells me and should tell you is he wanted to, but he controlled himself. Okay? I'm sure it crossed his mind, I'd really like to have my way with this woman, but he didn't do it. Okay? Can't say the same for some other men. But I already have a video out here that talks about that, and it's not on private, it's age restricted. Somebody reported it, flagged it, and YouTube didn't give me a strike. They age restricted my content.